The issue of race is tackled in the new Clint Eastwood movie Invictus, starring Matt Damon. And there's a Northern Kentucky connection, as Fox 19's Steve Oldfield explains in tonight's Fox Flicks.
Invictus is one of my favorite movies of the year. The story of how when Nelson Mandela went from prisoner to president, he used the Afrikaner's favorite sport of rugby to unite the country. Now, I was worried about being biased. I'm a big fan of rugby, and South Africa is one of my favorite places on the planet. So I consulted an expert on the country, now living in Northern Kentucky.
I think the movie was really great.
Jeff Chirwa has written a book called Dreams of My Race.
In the book, I talk about politics, economics. Since South Africa became the light of Africa after beating apartheid, there has been a change. South Africa today is economic power for Africa.
Jeff worked as a counselor across South Africa and has talked with Mandela.
He called me his son. He said, "My son." I felt humbled. I felt like he's really, really my dad. And that made me understand the man himself.
Our enemy is no longer the Afrikaner.
So what did you think of Morgan Freeman as Nelson Mandela?
I think he was brilliant. He walked like him, he looked like him, and I'm sure he spent a lot of time with Nelson.
Please, Mr. President.
And what about Matt Damon?
I liked him. His accent was brilliant. He looked like one of the Afrikaners.
Listen to your country.
Now, Jeff was in Johannesburg watching the legendary World Cup match between South Africa and New Zealand on television.
I always, watched soccer, and I didn't know the rules of rugby, but, it was for the country. And that was a turning point for people to forget about the past and just support the country. Change is not easy, but it's possible. And when people watch this movie and come back to themselves, they will have a lot of lessons they might have learned.
Steve Oldfield, Fox 19 News.
You can catch Steve Oldfield's Fox Flicks every Friday and Saturday right here on Fox 19, or log on to our website. I highly recommend you do, fox19.com, to check out all of Steve's reviews.